I have news. I know in the last episode I said that, it might take a little while before I can announce what I want to announce and that I hate being vague and vague booking and things like that. And I did think it would take at least until the end of the month for me to have anything to announce, because I didn't think all of this would happen so very quickly, but it has happened so very quickly. In a single week, things have kind of taken off, and I didn't think that it would. I'm legitimately surprised that it has. Anyways, enough beating around the bush. I started a little, I don't know what to call it. I don't want to call it a publication, even though technically that is what it is. It is a publication, but I feel like saying that it's a little bit too serious. I don't know why. That just feels too serious to me, but a blog doesn't feel serious enough. Anyways, I started a website called JXN Underground. It's JXN Underground, and there's already some stuff up right now. I've got only 3 maybe things up right now. I'm working on 2 more things to put up currently, but it is essentially a music blog about happenings in Jackson, the underground music scene in Jackson, specifically, metal, punk, hardcore, and everything that encompasses, because, people can get very in the weeds with genres and stuff. And so, I have been talking about the Jackson music scene on this podcast, for about as long as this podcast has been operating, since last May. And, I've talked about it on this podcast, about how much, how I have kind of unintentionally, I guess, ingratiated myself within this community and kind of been rooted into it, even though it was very unintentional. I thought that, even though I do yap about it a whole lot on this here podcast, I thought it would be nice to start some kind of written publication to, I guess expose more of the Jackson music scene to those outside of the Jackson music scene. And as of right now, I'm not sure how much of it is actually going outside of the Jackson music scene. I do know that a lot of people here in the community have seen it. They've read some of the stuff that I wrote, and I've gotten rave reviews so far, which is honestly crazy to think about. I don't even know how to put that into words, but my goal with it is to expose the Jackson music scene to outside of Mississippi, outside of the South, maybe even outside of the United States. The wider the reach it has, the better, in my opinion, that it is. So I think I might have talked about the genesis of it a little bit, but back when Measureless Aeons, who I've talked about incessantly here on the pod, sent me their demo early, I was talking about it to one of my coworkers, who again loves to gas me up for some reason, and he was like, you should start interviewing bands and do video podcasts with them and stuff like that. And at first I was like, no, I'm absolutely not doing that, because I have said this on a previous episode, but I don't have the infrastructure to do video interviews the way that I would want to do them. And also I feel like doing video interviews, they're probably fine, but feels like a lot. I don't know why. To me, it just feels like a lot. And that's not really something that I have planned as of right now. I don't really intend on doing video interviews at any point in the future. Right now, they are just going to be written, and they're probably not going to be audio either. So right now, they're just going to stay in the written format. But, after my coworker had said, you need to interview bands and stuff like that, I was like, I don't know. Should I really do that? I don't know if that sounds like a good idea. I don't know if anybody would want to talk to me. I don't know, that doesn't seem feasible, it doesn't seem doable. But I did get to thinking about it, and it's I don't know, it wouldn't be a bad idea. And so Ethan, one of the guitarists from Measureless Aeon, saw me at a show one day, and he was like, yeah, I saw your podcast episode where you talked about interviewing bands. I really think you should go for it. I think it would be great. And that caused me to think about it a little bit more, and I was like, man, maybe I should, because to my knowledge, as of right now, I don't really know of any, and I don't know everybody. There could be someone else doing what I'm doing. I just don't know where they are. I haven't seen them. I haven't heard of them. I would love to know if there's someone else doing what I'm doing, but there doesn't really seem to be anyone covering specifically the Jackson music scene, just the Jackson music scene. Maybe there are, I don't know, places elsewhere that cover Jackson musicians, but as far as anyone within Jackson doing something like that, I don't know if there's anything like that. And I think I might have unintentionally, or maybe not unintentionally, but unknowingly like cornered a market there. Yeah, that's what Jackson Underground is kind of. I have had a few interviews so far. Some of them have been written interviews. Some of them have been in-person interviews. I am going to continue to try to, work around my like actual work schedule because, having a full-time job that really takes a lot of your time away, but I am going to continue to try to schedule more. I'm going to continue to try to not overload myself. I think that's a big thing. I'm really just trying to figure out things right now. I don't have a set like release schedule when it comes to the articles that I write. It really is just like whenever I finish them is when they're gonna come out. I was thinking about it previous to this Thursday about whether or not I should write about shows that I go to, and I don't think that's something that I want to do. That's not, I don't know, it doesn't really seem appealing to me. What I have been doing, there are a lot of shows and I want to go to most of them. So what I have been doing is I've been taking my camera and taking pictures, and I will say, I talked about this again on like a past episode, I have taken my camera to a show once before and I was taking pictures and I came back and I looked at them and I was like, oh man, I really don't like any of these. But I have been kind of observing other show photographers that I've seen. What I've kind of learned in the literally 2 days that I've been doing this show photography, I should say, is that you really have to be have a quick trigger and just be kind of loose with it, So I've had to learn, not necessarily new photography techniques, because that sounds way more involved than it actually is, but new ways to do things. All that to say is that all of this is really going to be a learning process, learning how to interview people, learning how to manage my time, learning a whole lot of things. And I don't really know what my end goal for this project is, again, other than spreading awareness about the very flourishing, very talented Jackson music scene. But honestly, I'm just hoping I have fun with it, and I'm having fun with it. So, as of right now, I can say mission accomplished. Like our dearly departed, he's not dead, he's just not there anymore. Our dearly departed Nintendo of America CEO Reggie Fils-Aimé once said,
"If it's not fun, why bother?"
And that's kind of the philosophy that I take with like a lot of things that I do. So I'm just gonna let that lead me where it does. So yeah, that's Jackson Underground, JXN underground.com. I paid $12 for a domain, so that's how you know I'm serious about this. Okay, I'm professional. I bought a domain.